The Kraft Foods Company presents The Great Gildersleeve. It's The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Perry, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of Parquet margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products. Now let's see what the Great Gildersleeve is doing. This afternoon, he brought a typewriter home from the office. He set it up on a card table in the living room, along with a stack of paper and a box of cigars. A comfortable chair with pillows in the right places completes the arrangement, and the great man sits him down.
Hello,
Unky. Writing a letter?
No, Marjorie. I'm writing an article for the Summerfield Indicator.
Oh, that's wonderful. Why?
Why? Because, my dear, the editor, Mr. Powers, asked me as a personal favor if I would.
Gee, it sounds exciting, Unky. What's it?
It's about water.
Oh.
Huh? Oh, it's a subject of vital importance to every citizen of Summerfield. We need some new equipment at the pumping plant, and the taxpayers have got to be told about it. And Mr. Powers insisted I was the man to do the job.
When are they going to print it?
Tomorrow. Got to have this finished and down at the newspaper office by noon.
Well, can I help? I might give you some ideas.
Thank you, Marjorie. I'll manage. You run up to bed. Everybody else is in.
If you need anything, call me.
Thank you, my dear. Good night.
Night.
Where was I? At the beginning. Water and Help. By Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve. That's a good start. Now, how to begin? Once upon a time... No, that won't do. Might not hurt to do an article like this every week. Get to be known around town. Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, author, columnist, and water commissioner. Not bad. Yes. Might even make it a daily column. Syndicate it in the papers all over the country. Could happen. Walter Winchell, Drew Pearson, Throckmorton Gildersleeve. This is Gildersleeve reporting from London. Washington, the Senate, the White House.
Mr. Gildersleeve.
Zeef?
Mr. Gildersleeve.
What you for? What's the matter, Bertie?
Breakfast ready.
Breakfast in the middle of the night? Whoop, it's broad daylight.
It's on the table, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Tell Marjorie and Leroy to go to bed. I have work to do. And this darn thing has to be finished by noon. Why did I go to sleep in this chair?
Shall I bring you some coffee?
Yes, please. Strong coffee. And call Bessie at the office, Bertie, and tell her I won't be in till noon. 4 hours to write this fool article, and I don't even know what I'm going to say. Why did I tell Powers I'd do it in the first place? Well, here goes. I'll think of something. There. Finished. Time, 11:35. Well, by George, I made it. Deadline, Gildersleeve.
You finished, Uncle Mort?
Yep, and right on time, too.
You were sure batting that typewriter. Did you work all night?
Yes, practically.
Gee, for working all night, you don't look a bit tired.
Leroy, when a man is creating something, he doesn't get tired. Now, out of the way. Got to get this down to the newspaper before they go to press.
You going now, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Yeah, and I'm in a terrible rush, Bertie.
You going in your bathrobe?
Bathrobe? That's ridiculous. Oh, my gosh. Leroy, get me my overcoat. Uh, 10 minutes to 12. Plenty of time now.
Hello, Gildy.
Huh? Oh, good morning, Judge.
Where's the fire?
No fire. I'm on my way to the newspaper office. I have to be there by 12.
What's the matter? Your subscription run out?
No. I did a little story on the water situation in Summerfield at the special request of the editor. Turned out pretty well, too.
What's it about?
I just told you. It's about water.
Well, at least you didn't have a dry subject.
Very funny, you old goat. Very funny.
How long did it take you to write it, Gildy?
Well, I batted it out in a few spare moments. I can put it down just as fast as I can think.
I know. That's why I wondered.
You
See you tonight, Gildy?
Tonight? What's going on tonight?
Well, didn't the chief call you? He's going to be away this weekend, police convention or something, and he wanted to get the Jolly Boys together tonight instead.
A fine thing. Chief Gates running off to conventions and leaving crime in the hands of underlings.
Is that any worse than staying out all morning and leaving water in the hands of Bessie?
This article happens to be Water Department business.
Well, can you make it tonight, Gildy?
Well, I'll try.
How about some lunch? It's 5 minutes to 12.
Oh, can't eat now, Horace. We're practically going to press. See you later.
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, hello, Bessie. What are the headlines for today? Anything happen in the office this morning?
Nothing that I can remember. You look happy, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Me? Well, I am happy. Remember that article Powers down at the newspaper asked me to write?
Yes, sir.
Well, I wrote it. And what's more, he liked it. Bessie, you're working for a man who's going places.
When will you be back?
I mean rise in the world, Bessie. Now, let's see the mail.
Oh, someone phoned just before you came in. I think it was a man.
You think it was a man?
I'm sure it was. I think.
Well, who was he?
I forgot to ask him his name. He's a friend of yours, and he just arrived in town. He said he and you went to high school together. Don't you remember him?
Remember him? Good night, Bessie. What kind of a high school do you think I went to? I had all kinds of friends. Hundreds of them.
Well, he said he was coming up to see you right after lunch.
Right after lunch?
Yes.
Well, that's now. Bessie, clean up this office. Get that stack of newspapers off the floor and empty the wastebasket.
But it's always this
Don't
way.
argue with me. You think I want him to find me in an office that looks like the back of a fruit stand? Now, hurry up.
Are you going away?
I'm going over to the barber shop and get freshened up. I'll be right back.
Anything else, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Yes, take down last year's calendar.
Well, Commissioner, what'll it be?
Just a hot towel, Floyd.
Hot towel it is.
And if it doesn't take too long, maybe a massage.
Massage. Stepping out with a hot number, huh? What is she, blonde or redhead?
Neither one. Oh, that hot towel is boiling.
It'll cool off. You gonna make the Jolly Boys meeting tonight?
I don't know, Floyd. An old friend of mine just landed in town. A fellow I went to high school with. Haven't seen each other since we graduated. Class of 21.
We'll bring him along. We don't mind.
Well, can't promise, Floyd. A man of his position, he might feel a little out of place.
We might not be good enough for him, huh?
I didn't say that. It's just that, well, we'll probably have a lot of things to discuss. The national situation, literature.
Do tell.
Doing a little writing myself now. You'll see one of my articles in the newspaper this evening.
That ought to be good for a laugh.
What?
Who is this high-powered friend of yours?
His name is, well, you wouldn't know him anyway.
What's he do?
He's in several things.
In other words, you don't know anything about him.
I told you, he's an old friend of mine.
Just dropped into town and looked you up, huh?
Yep, he's coming up to the office.
If you're smart, you won't be there.
What's that?
Well, you ought to know, Commissioner, when an old friend from high school looks you up, it's going to cost you money. That's the oldest racket in the world.
Maybe with your friends it is, not with mine.
Here, I'll trim your sideburns a little.
Huh?
Why does a guy go out of his way to see somebody he knew in school? One reason. To hit him for some dough.
You don't know what you're talking about, Floyd. You went to school once yourself, or did you?
Sure I did.
All right. And sometime since then, why, you must have landed in some town and looked up one of your schoolmates.
Yeah, I did once. In Dallas, Texas. Found a guy who used to sit across from me in algebra.
There, you see?
He took me out to lunch and I sold him $200 worth of oil stock.
What's so funny?
No oil.
Well, you would. I'm glad you and I didn't go to the same school.
Comb it wet or dry, Commissioner?
Dry.
Little oil on it?
No. Oh, hello, Bessie. Did he...
Yes, your friend's in there, in your office.
Is?
I closed the door.
Did you get his name?
He didn't mention it.
What does he look like?
He's sort of medium-sized.
Oh, that's a big help. I could just get a good look at him before I go in. I'll feel like a fool if I can't remember his name.
Well, you could look through the keyhole. That's what I do.
Oh, you do, eh? I'll remember that. And maybe it's not a bad idea, though.
Can you see him?
Yeah, but I don't recognize him. Who the dickens? Well, I'll have to go in and take a chance. How do I look, like an executive?
You look fine, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, here goes, then. Well, look who's here.
Well, Gildy, my old friend Gildy.
Well, my old friend.
You haven't changed a bit.
You either. Just the same.
It's certainly good to see you, Gildy. Just like old times.
Yes, it's great seeing you, too. Been a mighty long time.
It sure has, Gildy. A lot of water under the bridge.
Yes, a lot of water.
How have you been, Gildy?
Oh, fine. Fine, just fine. Yes, sir. How have you been?
Oh, fine. You know, when I got into town this morning, I said to myself, Summerfield. Why, this is where Gildersleeve lives.
Yes, he does.
So I thought I'd look you up. Gee, it's good to see you.
Well, it's good to see you, too. What have you been doing?
Oh, same old thing, Gildy. What have you been doing?
Oh, I've been doing pretty well. Yep. How long are you going to be in town?
Just for today, leaving tonight. It looks as if life has treated you well, Gildy.
Oh, yes, I've made some progress.
Nice office you have here.
Well, I'm the water commissioner of the town. Just another step up the ladder. Of course, I have plans for bigger things ahead. I believe in the old adage, when a man stands still, he goes backward.
That's certainly true, Gildy. Well, it's good to see one of the old crowd again. It's too bad we can't get together more often, isn't it?
Yes, it's too bad. Still, in my position, I don't have much time for the social life. As one rises in the world, the responsibilities pile up. Sometimes wish I were an ordinary citizen again.
Well, that's life, I guess.
Yes, that's life.
It's certainly been good seeing you again, Gildy.
Oh, don't rush off. I'll have Bessie bring in another chair.
Oh, no, you're busy, Gildy. I don't want to upset things.
Oh, I'm never too busy to talk to an old friend. Bessie!
Yes, sir?
Bessie, if they call from the mayor's office, tell them I'm in conference.
What did you say?
I said tell them I'm in conference.
Who?
Anybody.
Oh, no, now, don't do that, Gildy. I have to be going.
Now, hold on. If you're going to be here the rest of the day, why don't you plan to have dinner with us this evening?
Oh, I wouldn't want to do that. You and Mrs. Gildersleeve probably have plans.
There isn't any Mrs. Gildersleeve. Just my niece and nephew.
Oh, you aren't married?
No, my philosophy has always been, he travels fastest who travels alone. How about 6 o'clock, then, huh? I insist you meet my little family.
Well, 6 is fine.
You won't have any trouble finding the place. It's 738 Lakeside Avenue.
I'll find it. See you tonight, then, Gildy.
Yeah, see you tonight, then. Goodbye.
Did you find out who he was, Mr. Gildersleeve?
What? No, Bessie, I didn't.
You talked all that time and didn't find out his name?
He didn't mention it.
But you do remember him.
Not yet, but I will. It'll come to me before tonight. It better.
The great Gildersleeve will be back very shortly. Most women get genuine satisfaction out of planning little surprises for regular meals and lunches.
And for parties, too, Mr. Lang. In fact, I've been shopping today for some special treats to serve at a Valentine's party. This must have been my lucky day. The store was stocked with all my favorite foods.
And did that include a favorite spread for bread we like to mention now again on this program?
Yes, it did, Mr. Lang. Didn't I say it was my lucky day? The store had parquet margarine, too.
Good, because it's always a treat at parties or at regular meals for the family to serve sandwiches, rolls, muffins, or waffles spread with delicious country sweet parquet margarine. Parquet's fresh, delicate flavors made it the favorite of millions. So these days, when top-quality spreads for bread are still in such big demand, I suggest that you always make it a point to look first for this delicious spread millions prefer. Look first for delicious, nourishing Parquet, Parkay, Parquet margarine. the quality spread for bread made by the Kraft Foods Company. Now back to the great Gildersleeve. It's evening now, and he is on his way home from the office, and just a little worried. He's been thinking all afternoon, but so far he hasn't stirred up even a spark of recollection of the old high school chum, the old friend who remembered him so well that Gildersleeve invited him out to the house for dinner.
Holiday, Hooper, Hoberman, Hagen, Honrath. None of those. What names are there beginning with I? Ibbot, Ickes. Has to begin with some letter of the alphabet. Now I know how the princess felt trying to figure out Rumpelstiltskin.
Hiya.
Hello, Leroy.
Bertie says we're having company for dinner. Who's coming?
An old friend of mine. And go change your clothes. And wash your face with soap.
Hello, Unky. I'm helping Bertie with the dinner.
Yeah, that's fine, Marjorie.
Oh, Unky, when you telephoned this afternoon, you didn't say who he was. What's his name? Your friend.
His name?
Yes.
Just between you and me, Marjorie, I don't know.
You invited him to dinner and you don't know his name?
It's a perfectly natural dilemma. I had a lot of friends in high school. No one could remember all of them.
You don't remember him at all?
No, not yet, but it'll come to me.
You mean you don't even know the guy?
Leroy, you take your big ears upstairs and wash them.
Okay. When he comes, what are you going to call him? Hey, you?
Leroy?
Unky, I know.
What?
Your high school annual from the year you graduated is upstairs. I was looking at it once.
Well,
You can look him up.
By George, Marjorie, that's a capital idea. Let's go up and get it. Oh, dear, high school days. Haven't looked at this old annual for years.
What a bunch of goony-looking characters.
They don't look one bit goonier than kids do today. At least we didn't have our shirt tails hanging out.
Is he there, Uncle Mort?
I don't see him on the first page.
There's Unc's picture.
Quiet. Let's see. Gildersleeve, Gordon, Gottlieb. Doesn't seem to be in that bunch. Hey, here he is. I found him.
Where?
Right here. Eddie Shoup. I remember him now. It all comes back to me. Eddie Shoup. What a relief. Good old Eddie.
Is that him?
That's my old friend Eddie.
He's not exactly handsome.
Well, Eddie always was a little undernourished, I thought. Yeah. Let's see what it says about him under the picture. Eddie Shoup. To know him is to like him. Well, ambition? To be an entomologist.
What's that?
Butterflies.
Oh, brother. He doesn't sound too interesting.
Well, maybe he doesn't. But while he's here, I want him to enjoy himself. Let's make dinner tonight something special. Leroy, put some stickum on your hair and shine your shoes.
Just for dinner?
Yes, for dinner.
My shoes will be under the table.
Shine them anyway. Somebody might drop a fork. And Marjorie, get out the solid silver and ask Bertie if we can have candles on the table. I think candles add a touch of dignity.
Oh, I don't know if we have any candles. Is he that important, Uncle Mort?
It's not that he's so important, my dear, but when you haven't seen a friend since you left school, it's natural to want to show him you've done something with your life, achieved a measure of success.
Oh.
Someday, my dear, when you have a home and a family, you'll know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Leroy, do you understand what I want to do?
Sure. You want to make the guy feel like a stoop.
Leroy, that's not true. It's simply that I know Eddie looked me up because he wanted to see what I'd accomplished. I want to show him.
Well, if he wants to know how important you are, Unky, Leroy and I'll tell him, won't we, Leroy?
Yeah, we'll talk it up like crazy.
Yeah, that's the spirit. Just don't carry it to extremes.
You certainly do set a splendid table, Gildy.
Really nothing, Eddie. Just the usual family dinner.
You're lucky to be able to live like this. You've come a lot farther than most of the fellows in our class, Gildy.
Well, I've worked my way up, Eddie. Success doesn't come overnight. Someday I may be mayor of Summerfield.
Mayor?
Well, perhaps it's not far off. At every election, the boys in the city hall try to talk me into it, but I feel I have a big job to do in my present office. You know how it goes.
Yes, I suppose.
What are you doing now, Eddie? Working, are you?
Yes, I have a job.
Well, that's fine. Keep at it. There's no formula for success like hard work, I always say.
Uncle Mort is the water commissioner of Summerfield.
Yes, I know.
He's the head guy. He can turn off people's water just like that.
Well, that's just Leroy's idea, Eddie. Isn't that like a boy?
That sounds like a good job.
Well, I have my problems. Quite a water system here in Summerfield. More dessert, Eddie?
No, thanks.
Everybody in the city hall depends on Uncle. What did the mayor call you, Unky?
An armchair plumber.
Leroy, that was the chief of police, and he was trying to be funny.
Oh, I remember. The mayor said he was an indefensible man.
Indispensable.
Well, that's what I meant.
You certainly done well, Gildy.
Hard work, Eddie. Plain hard work and plenty of it. A man doesn't reach the top of the ladder without getting in there and climbing.
That's a fact.
What sort of a job do you have, Eddie?
I sell gasoline.
Oh, run a gas station. Well, that's fine. How many pumps?
Oh, I don't run the stations myself. I'm with International Petroleum. I have one of those office jobs.
Keeping books?
No, I'm vice president.
Vice president?
Vice president?
Of an oil company?
It's just a job like any other. Not as good as some in many respects. No home life. I'm traveling all the time. I practically have to live on ships and airplanes.
Where do you go?
Everywhere, it seems. Last week, for example, I was in London. Before that, I had to spend a month in Cairo. It gets monotonous.
Monotonous?
Boy, would I like a job like that. Flying in planes, going all over.
Mr. Shoup, have you ever been to Paris?
I'm there every 6 months. It's a beautiful city.
We received a carload of water meters the other day from Switzerland. Clever people, these Swiss. Yes, sir. And I received a letter from...
From who, Unky?
Nobody.
Were you ever in Egypt, Mr. Shoup?
He said he'd been to Cairo.
Who's talking about Cairo? Did you ever ride a camel?
A camel. Don't ask silly questions, Leroy.
The fact is, I did, Leroy. I was inspecting one of our pipelines, and we had to take camels. To make it worse, we were attacked by bandits and marooned in the desert. We wandered around for 4 days before a plane picked us up.
Gee, it's like something out of a book.
And speaking of books, I did a story for the newspaper today. It's called Water and Health. The editor liked it, too.
Oh, say, that's fine. I do a little writing on the side.
It'll be in tonight's paper.
What kind of things do you write, Mr. Shoup?
I did one a while ago titled Oil is Dynamite.
Oh, I've seen it in the bookstores. Did you write that?
Would somebody like some more of something? Anything?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot the time. Gildy, I've got to run. I told the mechanics at the airport to have my plane warmed up at 8:30.
Holy smokes, you got your own plane?
Oh, don't go, Mr. Shoup.
Oh, you heard what he said, Marjorie. Do you want his plane to get cold?
Let's drive him out to the airport.
Oh, thanks, but I have a cab waiting in front.
Oh, Eddie, here's your coat.
Thanks. Goodbye, Gildy. It's been good seeing you. I really enjoyed it.
Yes, so have I.
And goodbye, Margie. Goodbye, Leroy.
Goodbye, Eddie. Goodbye, Eddie. Goodbye.
Paris.
Camels.
Nuts.
Where are you going, Unky?
I'm going for a walk.
Well, don't you want your coat?
No.
Hey, Aunt, how do you get to be vice president of an oil company?
How would I know? Fine friend he turned out to be. Forcing me to invite him to dinner, then making me look like a dummy. And he did it on purpose, too. Probably had it all planned. London, Paris, Cairo, camels. Egotistical stuffed shirt, that's what he is. Floyd was right. This morning I was a big frog in a little puddle. What am I now? The tadpole.
Remember, the Jolly Boys are meeting tonight, so we'll go up there in just a minute. If you're looking for fine quality, delicious flavor and good nourishment in your spread for bread, look first for Parquet margarine. Whenever your food dealer can supply you, you'll find that Parquet is the same fine quality as always. Country sweet in flavor, high in food energy, and with 15,000 units of important vitamin A fortifying every single pound. The Kraft Foods Company is maintaining the high quality that has made Parquet a favorite spread of millions. And we're continuing to produce all the Parquet we possibly can. Our only regret is that there's still not enough available to meet every family's complete needs. So please be patient if at times the supply is temporarily short. And remember to always look first for that good name in quality spreads, Parkay, Parquet margarine, made by the Kraft Foods Company.
Cairo, Illinois. The big phony.
Hello, Gildy. We're waiting for you.
Yeah, you sound like you were waiting for me. Go ahead, sing. Don't let me stop you.
Well, what's wrong, Commissioner?
Nothing's wrong, Chief. Go ahead, sing. Sing your fool heads off. You don't need me around here.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
Well, thanks, Peavy. You're a good friend. I wish I could say that about some other people.
Then I know what happened. The old school chum gave him the business. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Now, wait a minute.
How much did he take you for, Commissioner?
Floyd, if you...
Please, fellas, let's all be jolly boys.
Well, let me say something, jolly boy. For your information, Floyd, he didn't take me for anything. It so happens that Eddie is a wealthy and influential man. Vice president of a big oil company.
That's always a pleasant surprise.
What's more, he flies all over the world in his own plane, warmed up, has offices in Paris and London and Cairo.
How'd you get a guy like that for a friend?
Because we speak the same language, that's how. He's a brilliant man. He fought off a tribe of bandits in the Sahara Desert single-handed.
He sounds like a very interesting man.
Interesting. You have no idea, Judge. Of course, I think of him as just an old friend, and he feels the same toward me. Good old Eddie.
Oh, it's pretty nice to know a fella like that.
Yeah, he's quite a boy. Wrote a bestseller, too.
Is that so? Have a cigar, Gildy.
Oh, thank you, Judge.
Say, I read your article in the paper, Commissioner. You're to be complimented.
Oh, thank you, Chief. It wasn't much.
It was good, Gildy.
Yeah, Lovey cut it out of the paper to send to her mother, explaining that I do your barber work.
Well, good. I'm glad she liked it.
Mrs. Peavy wanted me to ask you something, Mr. Gildersleeve.
What is it, Peavy?
Since you wrote that article, she wants to know if you'll speak at the meeting of her self-improvement group on Friday.
Well, I'll check my appointment book, Peavy, but I think I can make it.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Perry. The music is by Jack Meakin. This is John Lang saying goodnight for the Kraft Foods Company and inviting you to listen in again next Wednesday for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Isn't this wonderful news? Now you can make real homemade ice cream in your refrigerator. Just ask for Frizz, F-R-I-Z-Z, the new Kraft product women are raving about. Frizz gives you ice cream that freezes velvet smooth, is rich with plenty of milk and cream. Just add water, a little sugar, and freeze according to directions on the package. Flavor variations from vanilla are easy. Made by an exclusive process that retains the fresh cream flavor, Frizz is the economical way to serve really fine homemade ice cream. 6 generous servings from one small package of Frizz.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
The Kraft Foods Company presents The Great Gildersleeve. The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Perry, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of a complete line of famous quality food products. In the home of the Great Gildersleeve, it's breakfast time. With his small family grouped around him, a plate of scrambled eggs and toast before him, the great man judiciously weighs the problems of the day and makes his calm decisions.
No, absolutely not. Confound it, no.
But, Uncle Mort.
Marjorie, you know perfectly well we don't go to the movies on a school night.
But, Unky, this is a very special picture. It won't be there Friday.
I don't want to hear another word about it. We have certain rules around this house, and by George, we're going to keep them.
Oh, all right, Unky. I only asked.
That goes for you, too, Leroy.
Who said anything?
Well, see that you don't.
For God's sake, I'm sitting here eating my breakfast. Who said anything about a movie?
That will do, young man. I don't want to hear the movies mentioned again.
Okay.
What's the name of the picture?
It's called Until I Met You. It's all about this girl who thinks she's in love with this man, but the night before she's to marry him, she falls madly in love with this other man, and, well, Francie saw it last night, and she said it was just simply inspiring.
Inspiring. That's the wrong kind of inspiration for girls your age.
Oh, Unky, don't be so conservative.
Conservative? Just because I never dashed madly out of the house to see those mushy Mona Miller pictures?
How did you know Mona Miller was in it?
I saw the trailer last Thursday. With Slaves to Love.
Is that why we had dinner so early?
Eat your breakfast, Leroy.
Here's a fresh pot of coffee, Mr. Gildersleeve, right off the front burner.
Oh, thank you, Bertie.
Telephone.
Uh-oh, that is again, Mr. Gildersleeve, that telephone. Seems like all it ever does is ring, ring, ring.
Telephone.
It's no wonder I can't get my work done around here, Mr. Gildersleeve. It's like that all day long. It's ring, ring, ring.
Telephone.
Ring it. Answer it, Leroy.
Okay.
I've never seen anything like this. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello? Yes, just a minute. Uncle Mort, telephone.
Coming, Leroy. Who is it?
That's me. I think it's a woman.
You think it's a woman? Hello, Gildersleeve speaking.
Is that you, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Huh? Go eat your breakfast, Leroy.
See, it's some woman, isn't it?
No, it's Bessie, my secretary. Yes, Bessie?
Mr. Gildersleeve, I have some news for you.
News?
I'm not going to work today.
I see. But what's the news?
I mean, I won't be at the office at all on account of I can't come to work.
Can't come to work?
No, sir.
But, Bessie, I need you.
Why, Mr. Gildersleeve?
I need you at the office, Bessie. Confound it, somebody's got to do some work down there.
Oh, I've taken care of that, Mr. Gildersleeve. My cousin is visiting me. She said she'd be very happy to put in a day for me.
Bessie, we can't have just anybody down there. What's her name?
Prudence Kilpatrick. She has red hair.
Red hair. Probably has a nasty temper.
I'll be glad to come in myself, Mr. Gildersleeve, only I had the most terrible toothache and my jaw's all swollen up, so I have to go to the dentist and have it pulled. I'm sure my cousin will be very satisfactory, Mr. Gildersleeve. She works for a big company in New York, only now she's visiting me.
Well, what kind of a girl is she, Bessie?
Oh, she's very efficient.
Oh.
I know because she wears glasses.
Glasses? Probably wears cotton stockings, too.
I think everything will be all right. I hope.
You hope?
Goodbye, Mr. Gildersleeve.
But, Bessie, you just... Nuts.
It's cold, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Eggs? I'm coming, Bertie.
As I was saying, Uncle Mort.
Yeah?
So after the hero loses the girl and all his money, he gets into trouble.
Marjorie, no movie. And besides, that guy doesn't know what trouble is.
You in trouble, Unc?
Well, nothing serious, Leroy. Bessie's got a toothache, so she sent her New York cousin to the office to take her place today.
Well, how is that trouble?
Well, cousin is one of those secretaries that wears glasses and cotton stockings.
Well, what's the trouble?
And besides that, she's efficient.
Well, gosh.
No telling what she'll do. Probably out reading the water meters right now.
Now, Unky.
Well, she's probably started cleaning up the office, too, putting things away. And I won't be able to find anything. I can't find anything as it is. By George, I better get down there. Confound that Bessie. I'm going to have to get rid of her. Prudence Kilpatrick. Sounds like she wears glasses. Well, brace yourself, Gildersleeve. If she's Bessie's cousin, she can't help it.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I'm Mr. He.
do you do, Mr. Heed? Is there something I can do for you?
No. I'm Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, of course. I should have recognized you. I'm Prudence Kilpatrick.
Well, I was hoping you were.
Bessie said you were quite distinguished looking, Mr. Gildersleeve.
She did? Well, fine girl, Bessie. But she said you wore glasses.
Oh, only when I read.
Oh, very sensible glasses. Very sensible.
Well, what's first on the agenda this morning?
Huh? Oh, yes. You're the efficient type.
I try to be.
Well, that's good. As a matter of fact, I'm very efficient, too. Bessie probably didn't mention that.
No, she didn't. But I don't want to delay you, Mr. Gildersleeve. What's to be done?
Well, you might sharpen the pencils.
Oh, I've already done that. And dusted off your desk, too.
Really? I wonder why Bessie never thinks of those things.
In New York, we usually take dictation in the morning, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, I'm glad you reminded me. Some very important letters to be gotten off today. Just step into my private office here. Make yourself comfy over there, Miss Kill. May I call you Prudence?
Oh, please do.
Prudence. All ready, Prudence?
Yes, sir.
Got your book?
Yes, sir.
Dear sir.
Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yes?
Do you always dictate in your hat and overcoat?
Overcoat? Oh, don't want to waste any time. I'll take them off, though, if they make you uncomfortable.
Oh, no. I'm sorry I interrupted. I just didn't realize how pressed you were for time. I mean, starting to dictate even before you get your overcoat off.
Yeah, well, time is money, you know. I usually hang up my things after I start. Ready?
Ready.
Dear sir. Get that?
Yes, sir. Dear sir.
Fine. Guess I better hang up my overcoat. It gets all wrinkled. There. I'll get a hanger for it one of these days.
Dear sir.
Huh? Oh, yes. Dear sir. Oh, yes. Dear sir, it's been brought to my attention by one of the members of my extensive staff that your water bill is unpaid. Where's that letter the gas company sent me? Oh, yeah, here it is. We feel sure this has been an oversight on your part and that you will rectify the omission immediately. How does that sound, Prudence?
Well, I'm sure it won't be misunderstood.
Yeah, get directly to the point, Prudence. That's my motto.
Oh, I like that, Mr. Gildersleeve. My employer in New York is that sort of man, too.
Oh? Does he dictate a pretty good letter?
Oh, yes. Oh, but you do, too, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, thanks. Do you mind if I ask you a question, Prudence?
Why, of course not.
Does your New York boss ever dictate at night?
Well, very rarely. And only when there's a very heavy schedule.
Would you take dictation for me at night if there was a very heavy schedule?
Well, I suppose so. What's the schedule?
Well, first some dictation, then some dinner, the movie, and maybe a drive in the country.
Well, that sounds like a pretty heavy work schedule.
Oh? Well, then we'll just leave the dictation out.
I'll think about it, Mr. Gildersleeve. Let's finish our work first.
Work? Oh, yes, that. Here's the letter. Have to sign it. Yours sincerely.
Hello, Gildy. Anybody home?
Who in the world is that?
I don't blame you. It's Hooker. Nuts. In here, Horace. Old friend?
Morning, Gildy. I just... Well.
Yes.
You've certainly made some improvements around here.
Miss Kilpatrick, may I present Judge Hooker?
How do you
Horace, Miss Kilpatrick.
How do you do, Judge Hooker?
How do you do, Miss Kilpatrick? This is a pleasant surprise.
Miss Kilpatrick is filling in for Bessie today, and I'm very busy, Horace.
I don't wonder.
I was dictating a letter, and you interrupted a very important thought.
Never let it be said that I interrupted one of your important thoughts, Gildy. Pray, continue.
Where was I, Prudence?
Yours sincerely.
Oh, yes. Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve.
That's the most important thought you ever had, isn't it, Gildy?
Listen, you old goat. That'll be all for now, Prudence. Thank you.
Yes, sir, Mr. Gildersleeve. Oh, to whom shall I address the letter?
Oh, there's a big black book in the drawer out there. Just look through it till you find somebody who's delinquent.
All right. Well, it was nice to have met you, Judge Hooker.
The pleasure is all mine, and I hope there'll be more of it.
Oh, you're very gallant.
That isn't all.
Will you be in Summerfield permanently, Miss Kilpatrick?
Well, I'll be here for a while. I'm visiting my cousin, Bessie.
You remember Bessie, Horace?
Well, we're neighbors. Bessie lives only a block and a half from my place.
Yes, I've been thinking of giving Bessie a raise so she could move to a better neighborhood.
I should consider it an honor to drive you home after work, Miss Kilpatrick.
Wait a minute, you old goat. I'll drive her home.
Don't be silly, Gildy. It's out of your way.
Oh, I wouldn't want to inconvenience Mr. Gildersleeve.
Then it's settled. I always try to be a good neighbor.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen you driving Bessie home.
Don't change the subject, Gildy. And there are a number of historical points of interest around our fair city, Miss Kilpatrick, including the old mill house where I was born.
She's not interested in ancient history, Horace.
So perhaps on the way home this afternoon, you'd
Darn it, Horace, I can show her the historical spots. Prudence, what about what I asked you about?
Oh, as I said, Mr. Gildersleeve, I'll have to think it over.
And may I show you the historical spots, Miss Kilpatrick?
Well, I'd be delighted.
Have you heard the news, cheese lovers? Kraft American is back.
Kraft American is back? Oh, that's wonderful.
Will my husband be pleased? Kraft American is back.
Yes, genuine Kraft American pasteurized processed cheese with the medium mellow cheddar flavor you've hankered for. Dependable Kraft American that always toasts and melts to perfection. You remember how famous it was before the war. Well, this past year, Kraft has frankly told you that it would take time to make and age cheddars, to produce enough Kraft American so all of you could have it. And now it's here. Look for the blue half-pound package.
Marked Kraft American.
Look for the 2-pound loaf.
Marked Kraft American.
And when you buy a portion or sandwich-sized slices from a 5-pound loaf, ask always to see the wrapper.
Marked Kraft American.
You no longer need to make do with substitutes. A food store near you now has genuine Kraft American with the mellow cheddar goodness you've wanted for so long. And now let's get back to the great Gildersleeve. In the matter of dating his new secretary, Prudence Kilpatrick, some progress has been made. But it seems to Gildersleeve that it's Judge Hooker who's made all the progress. So now we find the great man going all out to win the fair lady, at least for an evening at the Bijou.
Well, hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. How are things at the office?
Not so good, Peavy. As a matter of fact, things are terrible. That's why I'm here.
Well, what can I do for you? More erasers?
No, I came after a box of candy.
Candy?
That's right, Peavy. For my secretary. Candy is the first prerequisite of a well-managed office.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Peavy, you argue too much. Don't you have any candy?
Oh, I think I have a few Valentine boxes left over, Mr. Gildersleeve. They're right over here.
I don't want any leftover Valentine candy, Peavy. I want something fresh.
I guess you wouldn't take one even at a discount.
No. Valentine's Day is past. It's a long time till next Valentine.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
I do want something a little fancy, though. How much is that box over there?
That one is $7, Mr. Gildersleeve.
$7? It is a little gaudy, isn't it? How much is the red box here at the front of the case?
You don't like any of these on top?
Why is it you don't want to sell me that one? That's the box I want.
All right, Mr. Gildersleeve. I'll dig it out for you.
It's the one in front of my finger. No. Farther back, Peavy. Near the ant powder. Right behind the two you knocked over, Peavy. Yeah, that's it.
I had to do this yesterday, too. Now, this box retails for $4.44, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Wow, that's kind of steep, isn't it?
Well, I imagine the red cellophane brings cost up a little. Probably not worth it.
It is pretty, though.
Bessie feeling well these days, is she?
Bessie? Oh, yeah. She's got a toothache.
That's too bad. I understand there are a number of caramels in this assortment, Mr. Gildersleeve. Chewy ones.
Well, all the better, Peavy.
Well, now, you really think so?
Oh, definitely, Peavy. Good exercise for the jaws.
Well, I hadn't thought of it in just that way.
Wrap it up, Peavy. Real pretty now. Oh, and I need a card to go with it.
A card? I really have a nice assortment in the rack here. The conservative ones are on this side.
Well, I'm not feeling very conservative today, Peavy.
Well, the others are popular, too. Here's a nice one, only 15 cents.
Well, let's see what it says. With this gift, I want to tell how I think you're pretty swell. So when you're near, or even farther, happy birthday, dear grandfather. Birthday?
I guess that's not exactly what you're looking for.
I should say it isn't.
Well, how's this one, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Grandfather. I suppose this one's to Grandma. A small token from one who admires you from afar. That's better. Peavy, I'll take this one.
That card is, let me see, 45 cents, I believe.
40? Oh, well. Where can I write a little note on this, Peavy? I want to add a few words.
No, it's fine. Just use the top of the counter. Here, I'll push the cough drops back a little.
Yeah, thanks, Peavy. Let's see now. What shall I say? For my charming secretary, in the hope that she will be my guest tonight at the Bijou in the balcony. There. Hooker doesn't realize the kind of competition he's bucking. I'll just stick the card here in the fold.
And that'll be $4.89, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, I hope it's worth it. Here's a $5, Peavy.
Thank you. That was $4.89, 90, and 10 makes $5, I believe. Call again, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, we may be in for a couple of Cokes later, Peavy.
I hope Bessie gets you feeling better.
Bessie? Who cares about Bessie?
Sometimes I think Leroy has the right idea about him. What a character.
Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Zippity-doo. Prudence. Prudence, it's me. Are you here? Guess not. Maybe she's in my office. Well, she isn't here. Well, when she gets back, I'll ask her to lunch. What's this? A note on the desk. Addressed to me. Dear Mr. Gildersleeve. She called me dear. I've gone to lunch with Judge Hooker. Oh, Hooker? He assured me it was common procedure for Bessie to go out because you were seldom in the office anyway. Darn that Hooker. I'll bet he asked her to go somewhere else tonight, too. By George Gildersleeve, this calls for some kind of strategy. I know. I'll just leave this candy on her desk here and...
Well, Commissioner, come right in.
Well, thanks, Floyd. Floyd, there's something I want to talk to you about.
All right. Hop up in the chair. Now, what'll it be? A shave?
Well, I could use a nice close shave and a little chat.
You come to the right place. Hold your chin up, Commissioner. Both of them.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't mind if I hurry a bit, do you, Commissioner?
What do you mean?
The judge stuck his head in the door a few minutes ago and said he'd be back to get spruced up.
Who does that old goat think he is, Casanova? Leave the sideburns a little long this time, Floyd.
Okay.
Say, Floyd.
Yeah?
Didn't the Jolly Boys get a challenge to a bowling match from a club over in Middletown?
Yeah, that's right, we did. The Middletown Men's Club.
What did we ever do about that?
Agreed to accept the challenge and let it go at that.
Oh, by George, we ought to be getting in some practice, Floyd.
Wouldn't do no harm, Commish. I ain't seen a bowling ball in so long, if one come in, I'd think it was a customer.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference at that.
Yeah, very good, very good. Now, about this bowling. We're all a little rusty. You take Judge Hooker. Did you know that he used to roll between 225 and 250 regularly?
No kidding? I didn't think he could lift a bowling ball, let alone roll one.
Oh. He's very tricky, the old goat. You know what you ought to do, Floyd?
What?
You ought to get all the Jolly Boys down to the bowling alley tonight for a little workout.
You single men just don't understand how the female mind works, do you?
Yes. What do you mean?
If I went home and announced I was going to the bowling alley tonight, I'd get a workout before I got there.
But, Floyd, the honor of the Jolly Boys is at stake.
Oh, well, Commissioner, if you put it that way...
You mean you'll do it?
Yeah, I guess so. Be awful noisy around my house for a few days. I'd sure like to do a little bowling.
By George, Floyd, I knew we could count on you.
You want me to call all the other Jolly Boys and get them down there?
Tonight. Remember, it must be tonight, Floyd.
Why?
Well, the sooner we get started, the better.
Oh.
And don't forget the judge. We want him there, especially.
Well, that should be easy. He ain't married.
Very funny, Floyd.
Darn good idea to get that practice in.
That's right, Floyd. It's for the good of the Jolly Boys.
You bet. Well, there you are, Commissioner. All nice and slick. That'll be 6 bits.
Yeah, here's $1, Floyd. Keep the change.
Thanks. Hey, are you feeling all right?
I'm feeling better anyway. I'll see you around, Floyd. Don't dull your razor on Judge Hooker.
See you tonight at the bowling alley.
I'm afraid I can't make it tonight, Floyd. But you've got a darn good idea there. Good old Floyd. He knows how to work on Hooker, too. The old goat will be at the bowling alley, all right, and I'll have Prudence all to myself. Gildersleeve, you should have been a general. I wonder if Prudence found the candy. Well, I'm back, Prudence. Bessie, what are you doing here?
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. I'm back.
I see you are.
It was the most exciting thing, Mr. Gildersleeve. Last night when I went to bed, I forgot to put my gum in a saucer. And when I woke up this morning, I thought I had a toothache, so I went to the dentist and he found the gum. Wasn't that exciting?
Yeah. Very exciting, but where's Prudence?
Oh, she had some shopping to do, Mr. Gildersleeve. She said she was going out tonight.
Going out? Who did she say?
And Mr. Gildersleeve, I just can't tell you how thrilled I was when I found that beautiful box of candy on my desk. And there was just the sweetest note she wrote, Mr. Gildersleeve, to my charming secretary. I really didn't think you thought of me that way.
Bessie,
I'll be only too happy to go to the Bijou with you tonight, Mr. Gildersleeve.
But Bessie...
And I know why you asked me with a note, because you're just a great, big, bashful boy.
The great Gildersleeve will be right back, folks. More good news from Kraft is this. Velveeta is plentiful now. You can let the youngsters have all they want of this smooth melting cheese food with the rich yet mild cheddar flavor. But here's the headline news in food. Kraft American is back. Yes, Kraft American is back. It's in the stores right now, and you can get some tomorrow. Kraft American with the medium mellow cheddar cheese flavor you've hankered for. Kraft American for wonderful toasted sandwiches, smooth cheese sauce, good Welsh rabbit. When you buy from a 5-pound loaf, slices from it, or a portion, ask to see the Kraft name on the wrapper. Or get the 2-pound loaf for several half-pound packages. You can wave farewell to substitutes. Here's what you've wanted for so long. Genuine Kraft American is back. Yes, your dependable old favorite Kraft American is back.
enjoy the movie, Prudence?
Oh, very much, Mr. Gildersleeve. Especially the music. Oh, music seems to affect me.
Well, let's turn the radio on. There we are.
My, what a pretty tune.
Shall I sing it for you?
Well,
The whole world is singing my song, but I sing it only to you. The whole world is humming along. I love you, I love you, I do. You put my dreams to music. I learned how a song could start. I gave the world the music, but I gave you my heart. The whole world is singing my song, but I'll always sing it to you.
boy, that was beautiful.
Yeah. Did it give you any ideas?
Ideas? Maybe.
Have some more candy, Mr. Gildersleeve.
No thanks, Bessie.
Isn't this a beautiful night?
Beautiful. Let's turn this darn thing off.
I just want to lean my head back and watch the snowdrifts float by.
But say, we could drive on out to the lake. We could park and listen to the night wind, Prudence.
Sounds like fun.
Bessie, I'll bet you're all tired out from going to the dentist today and the movie with Prudence and me this evening. We could drop you off.
Maybe Prudence is tired.
Not me. I could just ride forever.
Me too.
Well, it's a little late, Bessie. You sure you wouldn't rather be home in your little Betty buying? Nuts.
Mr. Gildersleeve, we're turning around. Aren't we going to the lake?
No, I'll have to take you girls home. I just thought of something I have to do at home. I have to go find my bowling shoes. Good night, folks.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Perry. The music is by Jack Meakin. Included in the cast are Walter Tetley as Leroy, Louise Erickson as Marjorie, and Lillian Randolph as Bertie. Earl Ross is Judge Hooker, and Dick LeGrand plays Mr. Peavy. Stay tuned in for Duffy's Tavern, which follows over most of these stations. This is John Lang saying goodnight for the Kraft Foods Company and inviting you to listen in again next Wednesday for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Good night.
Everyone loves really good ice cream. So ask your grocer for several packages of Frizz. Yes, Frizz, F-R-I-Z-Z, is the new Kraft product that makes delicious ice cream right in your own refrigerator. Ice cream that's velvety smooth and rich with plenty of milk and cream. It's easy. Just add water, a little sugar, and freeze according to the directions on the package. So economical, you get 6 generous servings from one small package. Remember, Frizz is made by an exclusive process that retains the fresh cream flavor. Try it soon. The new Kraft product called Frizz.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
The Kraft Foods Company presents The Great Gildersleeve. It's The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Perry, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of a complete line of famous quality food products. Did you ever have one of those mornings when you wake up about an hour or two early? It's still cold and dark, and you try to go back to sleep. You turn over and pound the pillow, and then you get to thinking about all the work you've got to do, and first thing you know...
I might as well get up.
And that's why we find the great Gildersleeve sitting down at the breakfast table this morning at 8 o'clock sharp.
Hiya. Gosh, what happened?
Good morning, Leroy. Marjorie?
Unky, what's the matter?
Matter? Nothing's the matter. Bertie, let's get going here, shall we?
That's you, Mr. Gildersleeve? My goodness. How come you're down so early?
It's not particularly early.
Oh, Unky, for goodness sake. You're never down before 1:30.
This is ridiculous. I'm down here at 8 o'clock every morning, and none too early at that.
You want the paper?
No time for it. Well, I might just glance at it.
Leroy's got the comics.
No time for those. I'll just look over the front page.
Morning, Mr. Gildersleeve. You caught me a little betwixt and between, but here's your orange juice.
Thank you, Bertie.
If you'd let me know you wanted breakfast early, I'd have had it all ready for you.
It's not particularly early, Bertie. It's 8 o'clock. I have to be in my office at 9. That will do, Leroy.
Well, if I'd known you wanted it early, I'd have had it all ready. I'm whipping up some eggs and toast, and I'll have it in here directly.
Fine.
Only if you just let me know the next time.
For heaven's sake, you'd think it was the middle of the night.
Hey, Little Abner's pretty good today.
I can't stand little Abner. That Daisy May makes me sick, chasing him all the time.
I don't like to see you two wasting your minds on that... Where's the mail?
The mail?
Yes, mail. Letters. The stuff the postman brings. Where is it?
Unky, you know the postman never gets here before 9 o'clock. It only shows you how early you
It's not early. I am not early. Is that understood?
Yes, Unky.
All right, eat your breakfast. Morning, Floyd. Just give me a quick trim, will you?
Sure, Commissioner. Climb right up in the chair. In a hurry?
Not particularly. Why?
Well, you said a quick trim. You want it quick or you want it good?
I want it good, but I haven't got all day.
What's up?
Nothing is up. I have an office to get to, that's all.
Pretty early for you, just the same.
It's not early, and I don't intend to argue any more about it.
Well, gosh, what did I do? Okay, Commiss, you're the doctor. Just relax.
All right, but make it snappy.
Okay. You want to look pretty, don't you? I know you want to look pretty. I know why you want to look pretty. I'll make you look like a 25-year-old college boy. How about a butch?
What are you talking about, Floyd, or is it nothing, as usual?
You don't have to kid me, Commissioner. Man comes rushing into a barber shop an hour before his regular time, wants to look pretty. Don't take a building to fall on me.
What?
Take it easy, Mr. Gildersleeve. You ain't the first guy ever got excited about his secretary.
My secretary? Bessie? What kind of... There's never been the slight... Oh, my goodness.
I get around, you know.
Listen, Floyd, if you've heard anything, I can explain it.
I heard plenty, but you don't have to explain it. I understand it. I had a manicurist in here once. Pretty soon I was looking at her all the time. One day I almost cut a guy's ear off. Had to let her go.
Floyd, I am not involved with my secretary. I suppose you heard something about some candy.
Maybe I did.
Well, this is what happened, Floyd. Bessie had a toothache one day last week, and she sent in a friend to take her place.
Yeah.
This was just for one day, you understand. She was a friend of Bessie's from out of town. A stranger in the city.
Lonesome?
Confound her, stop trying to twist this thing.
Careful, Commish. Might stab you.
Well, naturally, I felt grateful to this girl for helping out in this emergency, replacing Bessie at such short notice.
Yeah.
So I thought that as a token of my appreciation, I'd get her a little candy.
I heard 7 pounds.
That Peavy, he has no more
Now,
discretion.
keep your shirt on. I didn't hear a thing from Peavy. You know he never tells anything.
Where'd you hear it then?
Never mind. So you bought the dame a crate of chocolates.
I simply left them on her desk. Expected that to be the end of it. But there was a mix-up. She didn't find them. Bessie did. And Bessie got the idea somehow they were for her. And she misinterpreted and...
Floyd,
Floyd, I'm telling you the truth. I've never even looked at Bessie.
where there's smoke, there's a fire.
There's no fire. There's no smoke even. Probably sounds fishy.
I'll say.
Yeah, but there's nothing in it. Floyd, don't say anything about this, will you?
Me? You know I never talk, Commissioner. We'll just keep the thing between you and me and the lamppost.
There's nothing between you and me or the lamppost either. Oh, what's the use? This is terrible. Doesn't look good for a public official. Doesn't look good for Bessie either. I'm afraid I'm going to have to let her go.
Well, hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. What can I do for you this fine day?
Nothing, Peavy. I'm just worried, that's all. Did you ever have an employee on your hands?
Well, I've had assistants from time to time. I had your nephew Leroy in here one summer. Remember?
I remember. He ate himself sick the first week. No, I mean a regular assistant.
Oh, I've had people working here from time to time.
Did you ever have one that was unsatisfactory?
Well, let me see. Unsatisfactory is a pretty vague description. I had a man that stole.
I guess he was unsatisfactory, wasn't he?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. In many ways, he was the most satisfactory man I ever had. Put up a nice prescription. Good head for prices. A neat dresser. He had just the one flaw.
Did you fire him?
Oh, no. He emptied the cash register one night and went to Mexico with a dancer.
Well, that's one way. My problem is different.
I didn't know you had a problem.
Well, I have.
Not thinking of going to Mexico?
No. Peavy, what are you talking about?
Nothing.
Have you heard anything?
Oh, no.
Well, if you hear anything, it's entirely unfounded. Disregard it.
All right, Mr. Gildersleeve. I will. Man buys candy for his secretary, that's his business.
Peavy, I'm going to fire my secretary. I've never had any interest in her whatsoever. Besides, she's incompetent. Believe me, I'm just trying to make up my mind whether I ought to replace her.
No.
Have you ever fired one of your assistants?
Let's see. Tolliver quit. He wanted to be a dentist. Kaplan moved to another town. Rodney married one of my customers. I consider that unethical.
Oh, criminal. Did you ever fire anybody?
Well, it seems to me there was one. Oh, yes, Mr. Clement. That was one thing about him. He liked to be called Mr.
Uh-huh.
Worked for me 3 years, and I called him Mr. the whole time.
Well, did you fire him for cause? I mean, did he come in intoxicated or mess up a prescription or what?
Oh, no. Mr. Clement never drank. If he did, I never knew it. It amounts to the same thing. Good man with a prescription. I hate to admit this, but I fired Mr. Clement just because I didn't like him.
I thought you said he worked for you for 3 years.
He did, and I never liked him a single day. He was one of those fellows that knows everything and tells you all he knows. Calcium chloride is anhydrous, he'd say. I know it, I'd say. And then he'd tell me something else.
Nothing more annoying than a fellow telling you a lot of stuff you already know.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. He used to tell me stuff I didn't know. And I'd pretend I knew just because he made me so mad. And then I got to looking up stuff to tell him. And it was preying on my mind, Mr. Gildersleeve. I just had to let him go.
Well, how did you get rid of this model employee, Peavy?
And that was easy.
Huh?
One day he said to me, I can still remember his voice. He said, "Do you know the light from the planet Venus takes 20 million years to reach the Earth?" And I said, "Mr. Clement, you're fired."
Well, maybe that's the only way. Much as I hate to do it. If only she weren't so darn sensitive. She cries if you even look at her. Well, just have to be firm, that's all. Say, maybe I could make her resign. Yeah. Well, good morning, Bessie.
Good morning, Mr. Gildersleeve. You're early, aren't you?
Ye gods, how can I be early? I've been to the barber shop, I stopped in at Peavy's, and I walked the whole way.
Yes, sir, but it's only 9:30.
For your information, Bessie, that is the time at which I customarily arrive. Why aren't any windows open?
Windows? Well, it's a little cold, but if you want them open...
I do. Can't run an office without oxygen. Where's my mail?
On your desk, sir. Shall I open all the windows?
Certainly not. Use your head, Bessie. Use your head.
Yes, sir.
I feel like a louse already. What'll I do? Dictate to her? Yeah. Dictate too fast, maybe. That's the thing. Bessie, what are you doing? Come in here with your book.
I'm opening a window, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, one is enough. Come on, I want to dictate.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gildersleeve. The window's stuck a little.
You should open them every day, just to keep them in working order.
Oh, yes, sir.
Let's see. Take a letter to Anderson, Fender, Telfint, and Bean. Dear sir.
Yes, sir.
Got that?
I'll get it from their stationery later, with the address.
Oh. Well, let's see. Replying to yours of the 21st. The devil do they want? Beg to advise that the sinking fund first amortization bonds with which the Summerfield Reservoir was constructed will become renewable as to the prior lien with respect to Series A, whereas Series B will necessitate anterior action. Who sent this letter? Oh, lawyers. I can't answer this. Isn't there anything I can't answer? Nothing in here but bills. Confound it, why is it so cold in here?
I opened the window.
Why'd you do that?
You told me to.
Yeah, that's right, I did. What's this here?
The petty cash account.
Oh? What's it doing here?
Well, there's a shortage of $2. I wanted to ask you about it.
A shortage? A shortage of petty cash? Uh-huh. Bessie, do you know that's the most serious, terrible thing that can happen in an office? Bessie, do you? Bessie, I didn't mean it. It's nothing, Bessie. Bessie, I didn't mean to get excited. $2, what does that amount to? Trivial, Bessie. Go wash your face.
I don't know what happened. I looked in the box.
Oh, that's all right, Bessie. It walked away. It's all my fault. Well, I certainly handled that nicely. But by George, I'll do it tomorrow.
I've got great news, cheese lovers. Kraft American is back. Kraft American, you surely remember.
Did you hear that, John? Kraft American is back.
Kraft American? Are you sure you heard right? Tune up that radio. I want to hear.
And since the war, Kraft has been hoping for this day when they could offer you again their famous pasteurized process American. American with the medium mellow cheddar flavor you've hankered for. And dependable cooking quality that toasts and melts to perfection. Yes, your old favorite Kraft American is here again. Look for the blue half-pound package.
Marked Kraft American.
Look for the 2-pound loaf.
Marked Kraft American.
And when you buy a portion or sandwich-sized slices from a 5-pound loaf, always ask to see the wrapper.
Marked Kraft American.
You no longer need to make do with substitutes. A food store near you now has genuine Kraft American with the mellow cheddar goodness you've wanted for so long. Get some tomorrow. Well, it's another morning, another day. Time to be up and doing. Gildersleeve is up, but he isn't doing. He is sitting at the breakfast table alone with his coffee cup. In the bottom of the cup, there is a single drop of coffee. He's saving that. He's been nursing it, in fact, for half an hour. The children have long since left for school. Bertie has cleared the table, all but his cup. She has swept the carpet right up to Gildersleeve. She has swept around Gildersleeve.
In your way, Bertie?
No, sir. Sit still. I got other things I can do.
Just finishing my coffee here.
Yes, sir.
I don't suppose you've got another drop or two out there in the kitchen.
No, sir, you cleaned the pot, but I could make some more.
No.
Wouldn't take me 5 minutes.
Let it go, Bertie. I don't really want any more coffee. I guess I've just got to face it.
If you got something to face, maybe a little more coffee would help.
No, I shouldn't. If I drink more than 4 cups, it keeps me awake all day.
Beg pardon?
Oh, let it go, Bertie. Let it go.
Mr. Gildersleeve, you act like a man got something on his mind.
Oh, I have, Bertie.
That ain't like you.
I have a very disagreeable task to perform, Bertie, and I dread it. It's always unpleasant to have to fire somebody.
Yes, sir.
Especially someone who's been in your employ a long time.
Yes,
There's nobody really to blame. It isn't a question of that. I know I'm not an easy man to work for. My standards are pretty high, but...
Mr. Gildersleeve, you can put your mind at rest.
How do you mean?
You don't have to fire me. I quit.
Bertie!
Lord knows I've done the best I can.
Bertie, wait!
That ain't good enough. I don't know what.
Oh, my goodness. Bertie, listen, you've got me all wrong.
I'll be the best cook in the world. But
Bertie,
I'd like
you
to know
are.
where you're going to get a better one.
Bertie, listen. I wasn't talking about you.
Working in this house ain't no bed of roses, you know.
I know that.
People hollering for meals at all hours, the phone ringing, the doorbell ringing, and electric guy's got a busted car.
I'll fix it, Bertie, right away.
I know I ain't as young as I was, but can't nobody say I don't do my best.
Well, nobody said that, Bertie. Now, just...
There's just one thing I'll say for me. I do my best.
I know you do, Bertie. We all know that. If you'd only...
Yes, I do my best. I ain't perfect, but I do my best.
Oh, but you are, Bertie. You're wonderful. That's just what
I ain't like some people that take the money and laugh under the sleeve. Think about me. I just do my best.
Yeah. We're all agreed on that, Bertie. There's no argument about that whatsoever.
My best is all I can do.
Yeah. We all know that. That's why I started.
I do more than that.
Yeah. Bertie, will you do one thing for me? Will you try to calm down and listen to me?
Do my best.
This whole thing is a misunderstanding, Bertie. I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about my secretary. I never had the slightest intention of firing you. Nothing could ever be further from my mind.
What you getting all excited about?
I wasn't excited, Bertie. You were excited.
You can't get me excited because I got a clean conscience. I do my best. I know I do my best. I do that for you.
Well, we don't want to fire you, Bertie. I told you that.
I can get work other places. You know, I get plenty of offers.
Well, I know that, Bertie. I know that only too well. But now I'll tell you what you do. You run up to your room and lie down for a little while, Bertie, and let me clean up these breakfast dishes, huh? I wouldn't mind a bit, you know. You've been working pretty hard. You get a little rest.
No, sir.
Why not?
I ain't going to have folks saying Bertie lets other folks do her work for her. That's one thing about me.
You do your best, yeah. All right, Bertie, have it your own way. You do the dishes, and I'll go fix the electric iron. How about that?
Up to you, Mr. Gildersleeve. You the boss.
Are you kidding? Oh, what time is it? Oh, getting late. Do at the office. Say, how would it be if I fixed the iron this evening instead?
You the boss.
All right, I'll do it this evening without fail, Bertie. Got to get going now. Remind me. Wait a minute. Everything's all right, isn't it, Bertie?
What's that?
Everything's all right, isn't it, Bertie?
What did you say?
I said everything's all right, isn't it?
As far as I know.
We're still friends.
As far as I know.
You'll still be here when I get back tonight.
As far as I
know. Joking, of course. Well, goodbye, Bertie. Goodbye. Brother, if I ever fire anybody again. Oh, well. Wait a minute. Haven't fired her yet. Hadn't hired Bessie in the first place. Maybe I should give her another chance. Maybe when she gets used to the job. Yeah. After all, only been there 3 years.
Gildy.
Huh?
Gildy.
Oh, hello, Judge. How you been? I'll just say to her, Now, look here, Bessie. In fairness to you, I think...
Gildy, want to ride?
What? No thanks, Judge. Only going a few blocks.
Now, so am I. Climb in.
Well, I want to take you out of your way.
You won't. I'm going right to City Hall.
I'd really just as soon walk, Judge.
Nonsense.
I'm almost there.
Make up your mind, will you? You're tying up traffic.
I'm not tying it up, you old goat you are. I was walking along, minding my own business.
Gildy!
Oh, all right.
Well, shut the door.
Oh, shut up. Let's go, Horace. Oh! Hey!
I didn't see the light change.
Well, thank you very much, Judge. I can walk the rest of the way.
Stay in, you fool. I want to talk to you.
Hey, what's the idea? You crazy or something?
No, he's drunk.
You never put out your hand.
Listen, there's a law in this town, Bud. When the light turns red...
Don't quote the law at me, my friend.
Don't call me your friend.
Come on, Horace. The light is green.
Blue. Stalled it.
Oh, for heaven's sake, let me drive. You're choking it. Come on.
There. There we go.
Judge, have you got a license?
Certainly I've got a license. Why?
I'd feel much safer with Leroy. Hold it. You're going past the place. Oh!
I'm sorry, Gildy. I don't know what I was thinking of.
The next time you have the car checked, Judge, you better have him check you, too. Well, don't think it hasn't been delightful, Horace. Could have done it quicker on foot, but it wouldn't have been near so exciting.
Wait a minute. I want to talk to you.
What about?
What's this story Floyd's telling around about the water commissioner making passes at his secretary?
Darn him. I told him to keep his mouth shut.
That kind of story can do a lot of harm, Gildy, particularly to a man in political office. And don't you ever forget for a minute that yours is purely political.
Oh, I don't know.
Little scandal and you could be bounced out of there so fast.
But the whole story is false. I told Floyd that. There's not a word of truth in it.
Be that as it may, Gildy. And I'm not saying I believe you. Oh. The point is not whether the story is false or true. The point is it's believable.
What do you mean?
It sounds like you.
I resent that.
I'm only telling you this for your own good, Gildy. You know how the mayor would love to get something on you.
What am I going to do, Horace?
It's up to you.
I guess I've got to go through with it. Well, say.
Say what?
Judge, you don't need a darn good secretary, do you?
I've got one.
But this girl is wonderful, Horace. Been with me 3 years. Takes shorthand, typing, filing, answers the phone.
No, thanks.
I could quit myself. I could resign and leave Bessie there in her job. The next commissioner would be sure to fire her. And we'd both be out of a job. I could... No, that's no good.
After you, Commissioner.
Oh, thanks, Coroner. Confound it. Why did this thing have to come up? Well, I'll just have to be tough, that's all. No room for sentiment in these matters. What are we running here, an office or a young ladies' seminary? Hire 'em, fire 'em. That's the way an executive handles it. That's the way Truman does it. I wish Truman would do this. All right, let's cut out the shilly-shally in Throckmorton. There's only one thing for you to do. Just walk right in there and say to her, Bessie, you're fired. It's the only thing to do. Well, go ahead and do it. Well, I will. Well, go ahead. Okay. Bessie, you're fired. Where is she? Bessie! Bessie! Found that girl, 10:30, and she hasn't showed up yet. I'm going to have to let her go. How does it look for the department if people come in here and...
Good morning, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Bessie, do you know what time it is?
Oh, I can explain, Mr. Gildersleeve.
After all, what are we running here, an office or a young ladies' cemetery? Seminary. Let this be a lesson to you, young lady. If things don't improve around here, we'll just have to start looking around, that's all.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, I don't know what to do.
Now.
You've always been so sweet to me. I don't want to leave ever.
Now, Bessie, nobody's talking about you leaving. Bessie, are you listening?
Mr. Gildersleeve, do you think a woman can combine marriage with a career?
What's that?
Lester says no, but I read in a magazine where Kathleen Noyes says...
Wait a minute, Bessie. Wait a minute. Who's Lester?
Oh, he's this boy.
The boy?
He keeps wanting me to marry him. Oh, I didn't tell him I would. I only said I'd think it over. I told him I wouldn't think of quitting my job, Mr. Gildersleeve, and leaving you without
Bessie, there comes a time in every girl's life when she must think of herself.
Oh, but I just couldn't.
No, the water department will struggle along if need be. Love must come first, Bessie. What kind of a boy is this Lester?
Well, he works for the gas company.
Sounds like a fine young man. Do you love him?
Well, I'm not sure.
Of course you love him. It's just as plain as the nose on your face. Why, you've been in love with him for 3 years. I'll testify to that. You haven't known whether you were coming or going. You haven't known which end was up. You haven't known...
I've only known Lester for 2 months.
Oh,
it's very hard to decide. I do kind of love him, I guess, but then there's my career, and Lester's so bossy. He doesn't think I belong in an office.
I'm with Lester.
Oh, it's so hard to know. Should I just throw away everything and marry him, or should I...
Bessie, I shall merely say this. If you don't marry this boy, I shall discharge you.
You think I should...
In fact, I think I'll discharge you anyway. Bessie, you're discharged.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Get your pay, pack your things, clear out now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
That's all right, Bessie, anytime.
The great Gildersleeve will be back very shortly. During the month of March, we Americans will be asked to contribute $60 million to enable the Red Cross to carry out their 1947 program of help to those who need it most. One phase of Red Cross work which you may not know about is their service to veterans of our armed forces. Able-bodied veterans receive assistance in personal and family problems and financial aid while claims are pending or delayed. Last year, this aid was extended to more than 1 million veterans and their families. Over 80,000 hospitalized veterans will this year be given the benefit of the skill and attention of Red Cross field directors. These workers coordinate the activities whereby hospitalized veterans receive therapeutic recreation and training, assistance with letter writing and shopping, and the helpful service of the Motor Corps. Veterans Assistance is a new and important addition to the Red Cross services with which you are so familiar.
I know all of you give generously whenever the Red Cross asks. Please do so again this year. Their need is as great as ever. Good night, folks.
The Great Gildersleeve was played by Harold Perry. It was written by John Whedon and Sam Moore. The music is by Jack Meakin. Included in the cast are Walter Tetley as Leroy, Louise Erickson as Marjorie, and Lillian Randolph as Bertie. Earl Ross as Judge Hooker, and Dick LeGrand plays Mr. Peavy. Stay tuned in for Duffy's Tavern, which follows over most of these stations. This is John Lang saying goodnight for the Kraft Foods Company and inviting you to listen in again next Wednesday for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Good night, John.
Think of it, plenty of rich, velvety smooth ice cream always on hand for delicious homemade sodas and sundaes. It's easy when you buy the new Kraft product called Frizz, F-R-I-Z-Z. Yes, Frizz makes delicious ice cream right in your refrigerator. Real ice cream with plenty of milk and cream in it. Just add water, a little sugar, and freeze according to directions on the package. Made by an exclusive process that retains that fresh cream flavor, it freezes smoothly. 6 generous servings from one package of Frizz.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.